It's been a long day. I woke up with a notification saying that there's an update to YAMAHA SEQTRAK, and I had to wait 12 full hours until I get my hands on it. It's 2.0, ladies and gentlemen. It's not 1.3, it's not 1.5, it's 2.0. Means it's a major version. When you think that there's only a few changes from the previous version, it doesn't sound like a major version, does it? But once you know what Yamaha has done this time, it'll make sense. First of all, if you haven't seen the official release video, go see it. Under a minute, you will get the idea. You see it on the video title. I really cannot hide it. I am super hyped about it. And I'm about to see what this beauty can do with the new update. I'll update it now and then try it out. I spent the entire day thinking what it can do with the new update. And I have some questions, so we will go through them. Let's try a few things, shall we? Just to briefly go over the changelog, to give you the good news, if you haven't seen the video, all the drum tracks can be synth tracks. Brilliant already. Not DX, but AWM2 synths. We need drums, right? So where are the drums? Well, now also there's another track type, drum kit. Each of these drums can also be a drum kit. Previously we had 7 tracks with a 1 shot each. Now that all can be combined under 1 track as a drum kit. So you can free up 6 tracks for synths if you want. Another welcome addition is that changing the bar length is now consistent between drum tracks and synth tracks. I know some people were really annoyed by this. And also, now you can dial things with the all knob, such as the key, octave, BPM, swing, volume, and things like that. Which doesn't sound like a big deal initially, but I think it's a really important quality of life improvement. We'll see all of this in a bit. But first I need to update. I will update the Seqtrak app just to make sure. You can see this update also on the App Store changelog, and I checked if they updated the manual, and yes, now you can find 2.0 user manual if you would like to. Okay, agree. Okay, the Seqtrak app is running now. Reload Seqtrak. Yes. New firmware is available. This is why we are here. Firmware update cannot be performed due to low battery. What do you mean? Be back in a second. It actually took 2 hours because this thing charges very slowly, and I also managed to find a charger that discharged it. Anyway, I'm back. So let's try to update it now. Finally. Now I have to wait 10 more minutes. Now I'm thinking that there was absolutely no reason to do this in the video. Oh, I didn't know these can turn green and red. This is cool. Is this new? I don't think I've seen this green either. I think I will order food. Oh. We are ready. Okay, so let's see what this can do. First, I think I'm gonna create a new project. I don't think I will need the app now, but I'm gonna try a few things actually with the iPad, so it's gonna be important in a bit. The questions I had. How many drum tracks can it run at the same time? Previously we had 7 drum tracks, but now we have drum kits. What if instead of 7 drum tracks, I make 7 drum kits? Press and hold. I think the second is... I was expecting it to flash, but it actually just started loading up slowly, which is a little weird, but let's see what's up. Okay, now we have a drum kit. Press and hold, it's on drum kits. Awesome. I'm not gonna bother changing sounds now. Let's press and hold this. Okay, press and hold. It's an interesting loading animation. Okay, now we have a drum kit here too. Same sounds. So here. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but I thought you just press it once, but yeah. You just press and hold. If you have one sound here and it's the last selected, when you press the track button, it orders the last selected song. So technically this is a kick because the kick is selected here. And let's choose the snare. So yeah, okay. And if I just select this one, it's gonna be whatever this shaker, I guess. Okay. So let's try this. This is gonna sound super bad, but I might just mute that part. I don't know. Let's try something like this. And you can still change the categories actually when you are on a key. It's pretty cool. Now I have drum kit here and the drum kit there. They are both full 16 step, and all of these 7 keys are actually programmed into this track. So if I press play, I imagine that they're gonna all play at the same time. They definitely do play at the same time. It's terrible. This brings me to another question. If I can click on one key and adjust the volume individually, because since this is kind of like a drum bus, I imagine all the effects going here and volume changes and everything will reflect on the entire track or entire drum kits. But I'm also hoping that it's not the case, that I still have the flexibility to send delay and reverb and adjust the filter individually per key. But let's try that if it's gonna work out. Let's make a simple groove here, yeah? Okay. Obviously, this is a pretty bad track, but it might be a good example. Let's see if I'm gonna be able to turn down the volume of just the shaker. Let's try the kick now. This is great. Okay, let's turn it down. Let's see if I can send some, if I can add some effects to the shaker. Okay, actually, when I do this, it affects the entire track. So the kick, clap, and everything got the delay. So if I increase the reverb send, yeah, I think everything gets it, which is totally fine. But I'm curious about one thing: if I can filter only the shaker, because this is gonna be important. Okay, filter affects everything. So if you filter the low frequencies from the shaker, you also lose the kick. This brings me to another point. Can I still have the same flexibility to do these changes per step instead of doing it in track? Because if I have that, I'm still very happy about this, because it's still essentially per track or per one shot filters and sends and everything, with a few more extra steps, no pun intended. But I'm just gonna simplify it. Oh, wait, let's try something. Can I mute a single key in a track? Okay, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, I wanna mute this without muting the whole track. So this muted the entire track, right? Oh. So you can mute per key or per one shot. So you can either mute the entire drum kit or you can mute individual one shots, but you cannot bring them back at the same time using mute and all. That doesn't work. In fact, it actually mutes the overall track too. So if you want to bring them back, you need to press and hold mute and bring them back individually. And what if I wanna delete a pattern? Let's see. Okay, this is still good. I mean, this is pretty much the same flexibility we previously had. It works pretty much the same way. I think it's wonderful. Wonderful. What I was talking about. Can I add delay and reverb sends per step? That works. So not like a track filter, but you can press and hold a certain step and then you can adjust it per step. This is the same functionality that we had per track, but in this case, you just select one sound, then press and hold the step, just like we used to do. Instead of track, we have this one, which is super cool. I think it's still very useful. Now that we know that we can mute per key, let's say key, I'm gonna say key. We can mute per key, we can delete tracks per key without touching the drum kits, in this case drum kit button, and we can actually program these changes like filters and effect sends. This is amazing. So I imagine basically everything is as usual with the extra step of choosing a key here. I find this very intuitive, very straightforward. Once you know that it's there, I think it's also it's very convenient to just select the sound, audit it, and then put down the keys, which is amazing. Let's delete this and try something else. Now I wonder how the copy and paste is gonna work in this case. Okay, I just realized what happened right now is that previously, if you make a parameter lock, in this case, it would turn purple because I just pressed and hold to a step and then made the changes, parameters. So it's a parameter lock. Previously, if you remove that step and add it again, it would reset it. But in this case, the same parameter lock is still written there. I just disable it. If I bring it back, you can see that it's still purple. I don't know what to think of this yet, but I think it's not bad. I think I sent reverb and delay, delete and reverb and delay, and it removed it from the entire track. So everything went back to basic. I think this was the previous behavior also. So no functionality lost there. It's again just like one more step. But let's see how the copy paste works now. Previously it was quite easy. You just had to press and hold this and then press and hold the step key, or in this case it's called drum key. So you press and hold the track key, drum key, to copy that. But let's see if I'm gonna be able to do the same. Just copy this and paste it to the kick. It didn't do anything. Let's try this. Press and hold kick, drum kit, and press and hold this. It doesn't do anything. I found a limitation that doesn't behave like the previous OS, but again, this is, I think, very natural. Previously, you would press and hold and select a pattern here and copy it to another pattern, either in the same track or to a different track. For instance, you would be able to copy the clap pattern to the snare pattern. But in this case, since it's a drum kit, I cannot do that. I don't know if this is mentioned in the manual, but this is something I noticed. But I will update it maybe in the comments if I figure out how to do this. Now I have 7 drum kits, 7 one-shots each, so 49 drum samples, full 16 steps. I'm afraid to try it, but let's try it. There's no way for me to scientifically confirm that all 49 one-shots are playing at the same time per step, but by the sound of it, I can tell you that they are playing. I don't think I'm gonna include this part in the video, but you have virtually unlimited amount of drums now. I'm gonna delete the entire project. Let's see the synths now. Okay, this is cool. Now I'm gonna make the same thing. I have 7 synths and also 2 on the other side where they used to be. So 9 synths in total. I'm gonna fill it up with 16 steps, and I'm gonna assign distinctive sounds to each and every one of these. And let's see if they're gonna play anything. Every track has 16 steps full of sounds, 7 distinctive sounds. Let's see if they're gonna play all at the same time. I'm not gonna mute it. Again, not a scientific test, but I think they are all playing at the same time. which is fantastic news, really. This is a really simplistic test, so it's just one sound each, or let's say if this is a stereo sample, it's two sounds. I think it's considered two sounds. AWM2 synths have 128 sounds of polyphony. So it means that you can make 128 sounds at the same time over a single step. If we have a stereo sample, it's 2 in terms of polyphony. Let's say we have a step of 4 chords, which is 8 sounds. And then at the same time, we have 9 different synths. Each of them have the same chord or a different chord in the same step. So it's 9 tracks, 8 sound each over a single step. So that would make 72 sounds. I don't know if I'm miscalculating something here, but we still have plenty of polyphony left. If you can do a more scientific test, please let me know. I'm really curious, but it sounds like we are perfectly capable of having all 9 synths here, which sounds amazing. We will check that in a bit, but I don't know how many other grooveboxes can do this currently. This is great news. Great news. Let's try that. Let's try that. To me, it sounds like all of them are playing at the same time. So you can have 4 note chords on each of these 9 synth tracks and they play at the same time. If I don't get something that you think that I'm wrong in some way, please let me know in the comments. I want to get to the bottom of this. But so far, I am super excited about it. This really, really sounds amazing. Let's just finalize the hardware related questions. The last thing I was curious about, how the all knob alters the parameters as mentioned in the update, because this is gonna sound silly a little bit, but one of the things that kinda annoyed me was to change the octave range and the key, because previously you only have the octave button and you press it once to go up, it always goes up, there's no way to go down. And also change the scale and the key of the song, you do the same, it goes up and it doesn't go down. So if you wanna create a bass line, you need to go up first, then cycle back to the beginning. I wouldn't say annoying, but I wish that it was different, and it seems like it is different. Now let's try it. So press up, hold the octave button. Oh, okay, this is lovely. It works in both ways now. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but I think it's amazing. Another thing I was curious is that sequencing capabilities, because you might know that previously these tracks were only sequencing mono. So technically I can use each and every one of these tracks to sequence an external gear or some soft synths like on my iPad. The problem with that is that if you have a MIDI keyboard, if you manage to polyphonically sequence something, it sends that MIDI. But since it's a drum track, it only lets you program patterns monophonically. Let's switch to Groove Rider 2. I think it's going to be a good example in this case. And I'm going to see if I can program chord modes, let's say. Okay, Seqtrak is controlling. Now, the kick track is another synth track. I just assigned it. Okay, let's send the chord.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's do a parameter lock pitch. Can I do that? It doesn't show the parameter lock, actually. It would have been purple if it was any other track. I cannot see the parameter lock turning the key purple, but I can just modify the chords as usual. And it actually changes the MIDI data. Correct me if I'm wrong, but to me this seems like the Seqtrak turned into an 11-track MIDI sequencer. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Basically, I can just use Seqtrak as a sequencer or let's say a controller and use any software synth or any hardware synth pretty much. And I can use any of these tracks to control. So it doesn't have to be monophonic. It doesn't have to be just like one step, one MIDI. This is pretty cool. Really, really cool. I have 16 tracks on Grooverider. 11 of them I can program it with Seqtrak pretty much without touching the sequencer of Grooverider. I love it. And if this works like this on a synth too, because again, I think this is now able to send chords and arpeggiator, micro timing and everything. I think it looks like we have an 11 track hardware sequencer. I'm really hyped about this, as you can see. Let me know what you think. There's one last thing that I'm kind of curious about, but I'm gonna need to bring in a MIDI controller to do that. I'm curious if you can play the drums one shots chromatically if you use a MIDI keyboard. Just a second, please. Look what we have here. Video is coming soon. I just had to change priorities a little bit. Normally, what would happen in this case that I'm on a kick track, MIDI channel 1, and if I play the keyboard, it would play the kick chromatically. You can hear the pitch changing. Now let's try to do the same, turning it into a drum kit and selecting the kick and trying to play it chromatically. I imagine that 7 keys here or maybe 7 keys here from C is gonna play the drums, which is not a bad thing still, but I wonder if it can play chromatically, which is also a pretty cool thing. Okay, we have a drum kit now. Okay. Okay, exactly as I imagined. There's nothing on 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plays the 7 samples of the drum kit, but you don't get to play them chromatically anymore. I'm okay with it. But now we are at it. Let's see if it's gonna play anything with velocity. This is good. So now that you have seen everything as I tried them, all the new things in this update, just to sum it up, what do I think about it? I thought this was an incredible groovebox yesterday. I thought that if you want to have a groovebox, if you want to start making music with a groovebox, for this price, you should get it. This is what I thought yesterday. Again, for the price, to me, there was no other alternative. This is what I thought yesterday. After this update, this got so good. If I ever see someone recommending an OG circuit to a beginner first groovebox, I think I'll be mad. Everybody should have a Seqtrak. If you're into music, if you like making music, if you can afford it, if you want to jam, if you want to play things, if you want to learn how to use a drum machine, if you want to learn how to step sequence anything, I really cannot think of competition. There's none. To me, there's none. If you can come up with another groovebox around 200 euros, 300 euros, that can sequence 11 tracks, has 9 tracks of synth, has a basic sampler, can have 7 drum kits at the same time, let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. I'm really curious. Let's ask ChatGPT. Give me a list of grooveboxes which have at least 8 synth tracks or 7 drum tracks and can change between drum and synth tracks. Okay, here's the curated list of hardware grooveboxes. Roland MC707, circuit tracks, Electron Octatrack MK2, Electron Digiton 2, Digitag 2, and some of them are only available used. Say what you want. Limited output, you don't get full scale sound input, output, you don't get full MIDI, but this is an incredible deal. If you're a beginner, if you're into groove boxes, and if you find a good deal, if you just want something to play around, if you want to expand it with software synths, have a hybrid setup, you should get one. I mean, if anything, it's a decent controller. I know MIDI keyboards more expensive than this. So the bottom line, it's alive. Everyone, YAMAHA SEQTRAK, discontinued, disregarded, discounted, sold out, and today it's better than ever. Thank you, Yamaha, for the update. Thank you for not abandoning it. I already made a video saying that it's the best groovebox. I made another one recently saying that it got better. It definitely wasn't easy to come up with a title for this update in this video. I thought maybe I can just simply call it a game changer. That would have been a good title, but I think I'm gonna save that title for the video I will make when the sampler update drops. One can only hope. Anyway, that's it for today. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. I will reply to each and every one of you. Please let me know how you feel about the update and how you feel about Seqtrak after all these changes. As always, thank you for watching and take care. See you on the next one. I'm hyped. I'll go make music now. Bye.